It begins in the dark. Not metaphorically, literally. A knock on the door at 2:17 a.m., sharp, not polite, not hesitant. A sound that says you're already guilty. You don't run. You don't scream. That would only confirm the accusation, whatever it is. You just open the door and hope they don't take your family too. The men in long coats don't explain. They don't need to. They read a name, yours, and say one word: come. No warrant, no lawyer, no conversation. Your breath fogs in the air as you're marched into a waiting truck. No one on your street opens their windows. No one watches, because watching is dangerous. Association is a crime now. Your only mistake? Maybe you told a joke about a party official. Maybe your neighbor wanted your job. Maybe you were too Polish, too Jewish, too Tatar. Or maybe nothing, because the Soviet system didn't need proof. It needed bodies, and yours was available. You're allowed to pack one bag. You stuff it with socks, bread, maybe a photograph. None of it will matter. The guards will steal it, or it'll be soaked in blood by the end of the week. You've become property now, not of a prison, but of a machine that doesn't stop and doesn't care who fuels it. At the station you see the train, not a passenger car, not even a cattle car. A box, rusted, bolted, unheated, no windows, no benches, no toilets. Inside, it's already full. Men and women pressed together like cuts of meat. You step in, you're not counted, you're not registered, you simply disappear. The doors slam, the air goes black, the train lurches forward. You don't know where you're going, only that it's far, and cold, always cold. The days blur. The floor is soaked with piss. A man dies in the corner. No one moves him. The bread runs out. The thirst doesn't. The walls frost over from your breath, and someone, maybe you, starts hallucinating trees in the dark. The guards never open the doors, only slide a bucket in. Once a day. Maybe. You try to sleep, but your legs cramp. You try to pray, but your lips crack. You try to cry, but tears freeze before they fall. Someone is singing in the dark. Then someone is screaming. Then silence. After 10 days, the doors open. It's not a city, not a camp. Just whiteness, wind, and barbed wire. You stumble out into the snow, and it hits you. Not just the cold, but the scale, the silence. The feeling that this place wasn't made for humans. It was made to erase them. A voice barks orders. You're handed a number, a uniform, a shovel. You ask, "How long is my sentence?" The guard laughs, "Until you're no longer useful." Welcome to the Gulag. You didn't commit a crime. You didn't get a trial. You got a train, and it brought you to nowhere. You think you know cold, but you've never felt Siberia at 40 degrees, wearing threadbare cotton and hope. Your barracks is a wooden box if you're lucky. Gaps in the planks let the wind in. The roof leaks. There's no insulation, no stove, no blankets. Just rows of stacked wooden bunks, each holding 3 or more bodies. The walls are damp with breath and rot. The air smells like mold, urine, and unwashed skin. You sleep shoulder to shoulder with strangers who may not wake up. There is no privacy. There is no silence. There is no warmth. just the ever-present, all-consuming cold. You try to move in the morning, but your joints resist. Your boots are frozen stiff. Your fingers are numb before you reach the door. Frost lines your hair. Frost creeps into your lungs. Even your sweat freezes to your skin. Every breath feels like inhaling knives. But you don't stop. Because if you stay inside, you'll be listed as unproductive. And the unproductive don't get food. You're marched to the work site, kilometers away on foot, through snowbanks waist-high and winds that peel your skin. Some fall during the march. They're not helped. If they get up, good. If they don't, one less ration to distribute. The work is absurd. Mining, logging, digging trenches through permafrost. You're not building anything meaningful. You're not repairing anything broken. You're moving earth because the state says to. You wield rusted tools with cracked hands. You slip on ice. You cut your fingers and watch them turn black. Frostbite is common. Amputations more so. No gloves. No breaks. Just labor. Endless, brutal, and indifferent. If your body fails, you are sent back to the barracks, not to rest, to die. There are no heaters, no doctors, no medication. Just a fellow prisoner who wraps your wounds with old cloth and says, "Try not to sleep. If you sleep, you freeze." And still, the quotas rise. The cold doesn't just kill. It disciplines. It reminds you that you are no longer a citizen or a criminal or even a person. You are now a number with a body, and the colder it gets, the faster that body breaks. And that's the point. The Gulag doesn't need to shoot you. It just needs to wait until the cold finishes the job. There is no clock in the Gulag, only the sound of a guard banging on the wall at dawn, or what passes for dawn in a place where the sun forgets to rise. You stand because not standing means punishment. You line up. You're counted. Like livestock. If the numbers don't match, everyone is punished. Someone escaped? You're all guilty. Someone died in the night? Drag them out. Step over them. Move on. Breakfast is black bread and thin soup. Maybe. It depends on whether you met yesterday's quota. No work, no food. Too sick to lift a shovel? That's not a reason. That's a death sentence. Then comes the march. Again. Through ice and wind. Every step burns. You dream of slipping and breaking your leg, not because you want to escape the work, but because a broken leg might mean a day in bed. That's how far your hope has sunk. At the site, the routine is brutal and meaningless. You carry logs. You smash frozen ground with blunt picks. You haul rocks from one pointless pile to another. You work under guard towers, under whips, under quotas that were never meant to be met. And always, there's the fear. Fear of being labeled lazy. Fear of saying the wrong word. Fear that someone will report you, not out of loyalty, but because it might earn them an extra slice of bread. By night, your body shakes uncontrollably. You lie in the dark, listening to coughing, crying, silence. Someone whispers a prayer. Someone mutters to themselves. Someone stops breathing. No one moves. You fall asleep wondering if you'll wake up, and a part of you hopes you don't. Because in the Gulag, you don't live. You persist, and even that is punished. Your name is gone. The moment you arrived, it was replaced with a number. No one calls you by it. They shout it at you. It's stamped on your chest, scratched into rosters, scribbled on walls. Your past is irrelevant. Your family? Forgotten. Your crime? Doesn't matter. You are now a unit of labor. The guards don't see people, they see quotas. You meet the quota. You eat. You fall short. You starve. You collapse. You vanish. You're not alone in this. The camp is full of people who once had lives. Teachers, farmers, factory workers, poets. Now, just bodies in coats too thin for the wind, faces too blank for memory. Speaking too much draws suspicion. Staying silent feels safer. Even friendships are dangerous. If your bunkmate dies, the guards might assume you helped. If someone escapes, they interrogate you first. If you smile, it's noted. If you dream out loud, it's reported. There is no trust, only strategy. There are rumors, always, that Stalin died, that the war ended, that a general amnesty is coming. But every time hope rises, someone disappears. A whisper too loud, a glance too long, a notebook hidden under a pillow. Gone. And then there's the paperwork. You hear them talk about it. Transfer requests, productivity charts, lost tallies. That's what you are now, a number in a system built to forget you even existed. When you die, there won't be a funeral. There won't be a nameplate, just another shallow trench behind the barracks. A blank space on a form. A box checked deceased. In the Soviet Gulag, you didn't die as yourself. You died as output, and the machine kept running. You're always hungry. Not once a day. Not occasionally. Always. From the moment you arrive, your stomach becomes your warden. The bread is gray, dense, cold. You get 400 grams, if you worked well. If not, less. Some days, just broth. Hot water with a smear of grease floating on top. You drink it fast, pretending it has flavor. You dream about food. Not steak, not cake, just a potato. You'd trade your coat for one. You'd sell out a friend for two. And that's exactly the point. In the Gulag, hunger is currency. It separates the strong from the dying. It keeps you obedient, quiet, willing to do whatever it takes for the next mouthful. The guards know this. So do the prisoners. That's why there's a hierarchy. The well-fed, the enforcers, the kitchen workers, the ones who get scraps before anyone else. Everyone else fights over crumbs. The line between man and animal thins fast. People steal. People hoard. People eat what they shouldn't. Frozen rats. Boots, soap. Yes, soap. You start rationing your bites, trying to trick your body. But it doesn't work. Your muscles shrink. Your teeth loosen. Your thoughts slow. You forget what feeling full was ever like. You forget you had a body at all, until it starts failing. And when someone dies in the night, the question isn't who, it's did they finish their bread first? Because in the Gulag, hunger isn't just suffering. It's the system's most loyal guard. If you survived, and that's a big if, you didn't come back whole. Your body was smaller, your eyes older, your voice slower. The cold never left your bones, even in spring. You'd see a bowl of soup and weep. You'd hear silence and brace for punishment. You'd forget what your name once meant, because for years it meant nothing. And when the gates opened, it wasn't because you were free. It was because you were finished. Maybe Stalin died. Maybe they changed your sentence. Maybe they needed the bunk space. No explanation, just a bag with rags and an official stamp that said, "Released." Like that undid the frostbite. Like that reversed the years of starving, freezing, digging, breaking. You boarded another train. This one moved slower. The passengers were quieter. Some didn't speak at all, not because they couldn't, but because they no longer saw the point. You returned to a home that no longer existed. Your family gone. Your job gone. Your records erased. Or worse, they were there, pretending you never left, because admitting your absence meant admitting complicity. And no one wanted that. You'd try to talk, but people changed the subject. You'd try to rebuild, but the cracks ran too deep. You'd sit in the corner of a room and stare at the wall, because in the Gulag, that wall was your life, and part of you stayed behind with it, and many never left at all. They died nameless, buried in permafrost, listed as missing, relocated, or simply forgotten. No grave, no statue, no apology, just cold earth and silence. And the camps? They didn't crumble. They didn't vanish. Some were repurposed. Some were sealed. Some still stand. Empty now, but still watching. Visitors walk past the rusted gates and take photos. They read plaques. They shake their heads. They say, "How could this have happened?" But it didn't just happen. It was built, maintained, justified, perfected. The Gulag wasn't a glitch. It was the system functioning exactly as designed. So no, you wouldn't survive in a Soviet Gulag, not because of the cold, not because of the labor, but because you were never meant to.